This is How Do I Do This? The show for anyone asking, is it just me or is this a lot? No one is coming to save you. We all have to do the work to save ourselves. But if you're really, really, really lucky, you have amazing friends who come in and save you day after day. Welcome to How Do I Do This with Ryan. And today my guests are two of my very best friends in the whole wide world who save me on a regular basis. We do mom life together. Rachel Misenar, who's a brilliant artist, and Devyn Baklini, who is a powerhouse mom and an HR professional. And if you don't have women in your life like this, I want you to sit down and listen to this episode about how to do friendship well, how to show up for each other, and what it looks like when a group of moms sit around in Mumus. You know, this is not what I normally wear when we have these little chats. But today we're doing something a little different. So on the show, a tradition is that we have tea in my grandmother's tea set and we spill the tea. But today we are having mimosas because you cannot have good Southern women sitting around a dining room table without some alcohol involved. So today is Mumus and mimosas, and we're still spilling tea, but
just a different drink.
Just a different drink. Mm-hmm. So grab your beverage of choice. Okay. So I wanted both of these people here because there's an interesting thing. Rachel has lost a parent and she lives 6.5 hours away from me. Devyn has experienced grief, but not through the loss of a parent, and she lives only 1 block away. So we have all these really cool juxtapositions, and both things can be true. And so whether you have friends close by or far away, this episode is for you. So Rachel, I want to start with you. What did you think about grief before you experienced it? What did you think it was?
As a kid, I had experienced some levels of grief through grandparents dying and seeing what my parents went through with that. But, I always just viewed it as kind of a sadness that you got over pretty quickly. As a kid, that's kind of how your parents set you up. They deal with it and they push you forward. They want to take your mind off of it. But experiencing it as an adult, you realize how many nooks and crannies there are and how there's no real recipe to feel what you're feeling. It's much harder and much more complicated than people realize.
Yeah.
You go from 1 minute of feeling happy about your experiences with them to the next minute you're in Target and you see the type of tea they used to buy and you get upset. There's no real roadmap to it. And, I wish there would have been a way to prepare me for it, but nobody understands this shitty club that we're in until you've lost a parent.
Yeah, true. What about you, Devyn?
I think I always, I was taught that there are 7 stages, and in my mind, it was very linear, where, okay, step 1 is I don't believe it. Step 2 is, sadness, and then I'm angry. So I thought that there was a recipe. I thought there was a recipe. Like you do the 7 steps.
I was given those steps too.
And then you.
And the steps are bullshit.
Yes, they're not. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So, and then I experienced, grief. I'm like, oh, like sometimes it's all at once. I'm experiencing it all at once, or one more than it didn't go in order. So.
And some mornings I know I wake up and, thankfully y'all usually take my calls. But, it's a mixed bag, you know? Some days I'm pulling out 2 things out of the bag when I wake up. Some days I'm pulling out 1. Some days I don't pull out any initially, but then things come up or like just a few days ago, I had an amazing day, but at 9:00 at night, I was a hot mess. And you just don't, the unpredictability, I think.
I'm 5 years out from my dad dying. Do I cry as much? No. Does that distance create some peaceful space? Yes. But it never goes away. I'm forever changed. It's like in my DNA, I'm changed. So there were people, in my life before that dealt with me in one way that almost, they don't know what to do with me now. Because I'm such a different person. And it's made my eyes really open to the people who are, you know, really there for me and taking that time out, because those are your people. Those are your village. That's the people God meant for you to be with, the universe meant for you to be with. And unfortunately, some of those people come to the forefront during sad times, you know?
Yeah.
And you realize who your people are. So.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I've said this on more than one episode. The bitch I was on November 22nd, she left the room and took the manual with her the morning of November 23rd. And she hadn't shown back up. And part of this podcast, which still feels a little crazy, and this show is me figuring out who I am on the other side of this. And I'm so thankful y'all are here. So Rachel, you live over 6 hours away from me. Where we had my mom's service was over 6 hours away, and it was never a question. You just showed up.
Right. That's what you do for people.
What was your decision process, if there was one?
For you?
Yeah.
You called.
Because you're busy. You have 3 children.
Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
And I have 3 kids, for those of you that don't know, but 3 children that are very active in school and all the things. And that was Thanksgiving week. One of the children had a basketball camp. We were going to our river camp kayaking for Thanksgiving. Like, all of these things were going on. And you called, and I went into my husband, who loves you just as much as I do. And I said, Rye's mom died. And he goes, well, get your bag ready. It was never a thought, never an option. I was already looking up maps. I was leaving the next day. Just, that's what you do for people that you love. You show up for them.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a thought process.
Yeah.
It
wasn't what do you need? And
no,
this, that, and other.
One of the things, you know, there's an ancient form of Japanese pottery, and I don't know if I'm going to say the name of it right. It's called something like kintsugi, something along that lines. And what it is the art of taking an old vessel of pottery, something that the family used, and once it's broken, they put it back together with gold leaf, and they make it new again. Is it the same as it was before? No, but they pieced it back together to make it beautiful. I feel like I'm that piece of pottery. And the gold leaf that's helping me be put back together are my friendships and the communication that we have, because that's what heals people. It's not the silence and the being that's what heals people. It's being able to talk about it and show up for people.
Yeah. What about you, Devyn?
Will you repeat the question?
Absolutely. How did you decide how to show up for me? Because it was just what I needed and I couldn't articulate, and I was in decision fatigue. And you know, you were here with my son, and because I made the decision to go and be with my dad, and as my son adjusted to the news, my son and my husband stayed here, but you went into mama bear mode and, you know, gave him that nurturing spirit he needed. So how did what did you decide, or did you decide? Or
it was kind of autopilot. Like, this person has a huge change. How can I help? And I'm just going to help. You are one of those people where I'm just going to help. You know, I'm not going to send a text asking what I can do. I'm just going to do what I can, and I'm not going to make promises. Oh, I'll do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do what I can, and that has to be enough.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important message for people to hear, is that I'm real good at making decisions. I'm real good at telling people what to do. I mean, they pay me to do it. But one thing that was a complete wave that knocked me over was that my ability to think or make decisions or whatever, it flew out the fucking window. And like, it was just, I mean, that was the immediate thing I realized about myself, was I couldn't put thoughts together. It's why I named the show what I did, because the first call I made to Rachel after I said, my mom has died, I said, how do I do this? How do I tell? Because I couldn't even think of the words.
And I don't even remember what I said. Do you remember what I said?
I do remember. You said you sit him down and you tell him the truth.
Truth is important.
And so I knew that, but I said, give me the words, Rachel, give me the words. And as somebody who is such a wordsmith, who's a writer, and I was just absolutely gobsmacked. And you said, you tell him that Cookie has died, and that she is no longer in pain, and we're all very sad, and just let him feel and let him express. But it was just, you both, I think when people are in severe grief, whether it's, I mean, all grief is hard, right? I mean, and there's not really levels, but whether it's career loss or divorce or the loss of a friendship, or hell, your kid moving out and your home's an empty nester. When somebody is going through a big life change, the thing that was most comforting to me is y'all took away the burden to think. I didn't have to decide and say, well, if you could help with da-da-da. You just found how you each of your gifts, and you use them. And so people leaning into, okay, what can I do to show up for this person? Because they don't have the space to ask or think.
Well, and that's another thing. So you're talking about friends showing up. You know, the showing up doesn't end after
the casseroles get dropped
right.
off. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's where I felt such at a loss, was that so many times, like, I just needed somebody to sit with me. We didn't have to talk. I just didn't want to be alone. And I think that people are scared of that silence and that sacred space. They're scared to be there with you. It causes them to think about their own mortality, or
like they might catch death.
Right, or something. Yeah. I had one friend who literally, she had lost her father. And y'all, when I say my body changed, like my fingertips were numb. I felt numb for the first 8 months after my dad passed away. Because I had my mom, I was trying to help her, and my children, and like trying to figure it all out. And I had a friend stopped by one morning, and she had baked me a loaf of banana bread and had given me a bottle of Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Okay. I don't know if y'all have ever tried that. It's really delicious, especially with the banana bread. And
maybe we should have had that.
Maybe we should have had that. But she said, here's what I want you to do. And she didn't say, I'm sorry. She didn't say, do you know, she goes, every morning when you get up for a while, I want you to take a bite of this banana bread, and I want you to take a shot of the whiskey. And I thought to myself, she's getting me lit first thing in the morning.
That sounds crazy as hell.
It worked.
Yeah.
It was something about that kindness that she, like, you know, I would get up and I would have, like, I don't know, I mean, this like weird, but like kind of something to look forward to. Like a friend had like done something. Did it make it perfect? No. I had a friend show up and say she had lost her mother. And we sat in the front yard, just sat on a quilt. Do you want to talk, Rachel? No, let's just sit. You know, everything doesn't mean you're showing up with food or flowers, or it's just showing up for them, to be in that space with them, to connect.
And especially, I think, Devyn, something you have done so well is, I think as this goes on, I sometimes forget, or rather, I think it feels like the rest of the world forgets. And I'm forever changed. And everybody goes back to their lives.
Well, you're stopped. And the world is moving.
Yeah. But Devyn, you have consistently, especially when I get quiet, because that's my coping mechanism, I just kind of, I isolate myself, which is logically, Ryan knows that's the opposite of what I need to do. I need to connect with people. But I just, being the introvert, get super quiet. I don't respond. I don't text back. But Devyn lives around the corner, and she'll just show her ass up at my house. She don't care.
That's good. You need a friend like that.
Yeah. And that, I mean, because the casseroles stop, and the people calling and checking stop, but then you're still left with this emptiness.
I'm picking up the pieces.
I was thinking that, you know, in all of this, like what I have learned from you in particular, or this experience, you know, that we're going through separately but together, is that it is not your responsibility to tell me what you need. I think in life,
that's why you're the best.
In life, you know, generally, yes, like I'm not going to like show up across the street. I don't know them, but I know you well enough. There's a level of intimacy there where I'm like, I'm not gonna ask her to I'm not going to put the weight on you to say,
Yeah.
what do you need? Did you eat today?
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Do
drop
it.
off a book or drop off,
Yeah.
say, let's go to dinner. Let's, you know.
Or,
I'm just
hey,
gonna
by
do
the
it.
way, I'm going to bring your son home from school today.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know?
see, for me, not being around daily,
Yeah.
it's important for me to show up in other ways.
Yeah.
For your son's birthday party, or for the big things like funerals, or,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just, I mean, I think too, you've been very good, Rachel, because we do have that physical distance. You know, when I'm in my little hideout mode, you're like, hey, I'm going to call you. I'm going to keep calling you. And if I don't respond because you're like a dog with a bone that I know eventually I'm going to have to answer, you're just going to keep calling.
I'm like, pick up your phone.
Yeah.
Answer your phone.
Or then you're going to call Dan.
Yep.
And, and
Or I'll get my mom to call you.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to stop,
Right.
But it's been such, that consistency, I think, is what I have really valued and known that sometimes I've just called and cried.
Mm-hmm. And there's a forgiveness there. Like, hey, if you can't pick up the phone and vice versa, there aren't any resentments being built. It's just
Yeah.
But I don't think that just started in grief. I think that's the friendship itself. It's like,
yes.
I know you're busy. You know we're busy.
Yeah.
We're
And
all doing the best we can.
we are all doing the best we can. We do not need to apologize. We do not need to offer an explanation. It just is what it is. And
But there are some things people should never say to you during grief.
Oh, tell me what. Because
Your dad is better off, and he's in a better place.
right. Because I would like them still here, please. Thank you.
That was one. Another thing would be a complete stranger coming up to me, telling me how much they're crying missing my father. And I don't know them, and I get that everybody has their moment, but sometimes I want to be like, yeah, but he was mine. Like, I really miss him. And I think sometimes people took me being rude, my responses or maybe the way I reacted, but no. I mean, I've had people say things to me like, your dad has gone back to the Lord and is whole and safe and all of this. And I get it. I get, people, but I fucking wanted him here, dude.
Yeah.
You can tell me all the things, but what you're saying is just making me feel worse. I'd rather you just not say anything at all. And that's what I have learned on the flip side, is that I listen. I don't try to tell you what you should feel. I don't try to tell you what you should do. I listen.
Yeah.
And that's hard for people, to really genuinely listen and see what that other person's feeling.
I wonder, I've had this feeling, Rachel, and maybe you can tell me if you felt this too. Sometimes I feel guilt, like I'm too much. Like you're going to get tired of me mentioning
like a
my
burden
mom.
or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that way?
I did, and I still do. I went through a roller coaster of emotions after my dad. Like, one thing I'll share in here, I actually saw, I walked into his hospital room as he was flatlining. It was a very traumatic experience. And it was something I couldn't describe to people because I was so fucking broken. And I didn't want to be, it was sweet that people were showing up, but I didn't want to always feel like I had this dark cloud over me. But I realized that people that love you, they're trying to make that dark cloud more bearable. They're not trying to make it go away. That's what people need to realize. It's not about, when you show up for your friends, mean it. If you're not capable or you feel like you're going to say the wrong thing or you don't get it, maybe don't.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that, but you need understanding. You need communication. But yes, I do get the sentiment of the feeling like I was constantly putting burden on other people. My dad's birthday every year, my friends come to my house and spend the day with me.
Yeah.
And he's been gone for 5 years.
Yeah.
So.
But it goes back to the principles of truth and honesty. I think someone like me would say, I don't know what to say.
And you did. You said that so many times. You're
I can do X, I can do this.
Or another one, people will say, I understand what you're going through. I lost a friend in high school. Yes, that's grief. But when it's a parent, it is just, I felt naked. Like I felt like there was nobody over me protecting me when my dad died.
Yeah.
I felt exposed. My mother felt exposed. It was so much deeper than a funeral. I mean, it was just.
I mean, even now, I feel very unmoored is the word I use, and like very floaty some days. Like almost the way that idea came to me, and I was like, oh, this is the feeling I'm having is, you know, we come into this world, we are attached to our mother through an umbilical cord, right? We are attached to her. And so we're born, we're no longer attached by an umbilical cord, but there's still that like indescribable connection that I think we all have to whoever gave birth to us. And that now feels completely severed, and I'm just floating out in space.
I felt like I was floating for a while. And there's still, I felt like, at least for me, the first year was numb. I couldn't process it. The second year, it hurt more because my body had kind of woken up and I realized they weren't coming back. And then every year after that, it's just more of that evidence. And, you know, you have to make peace with it.
So, Devyn, what do you think some people get wrong when they're trying to walk with somebody who's grieving that you've witnessed? Or because I know that you've had recently in your family someone who is close to you, and so you've had an experience where you're going through it with them. It's not happening to you directly, but you've had the opportunity to witness the good and maybe the not so good. Like, what would you say are some things? Is there anything that jumps out that wasn't particularly helpful? Because I want to give people tools of things to think about.
I have a specific instance, but I think it's an anomaly.
Okay.
Or I would hope that it is, because someone in our friend group wanted to help by making a meal train, essentially. So people were signing up, and I had someone text my husband and I after his father died, and she said, "I'm not bringing you a meal." I was like, I don't need to know that. Like, why would you do that?
Oh, so like you didn't know who was on the meal train, but she felt the need to tell you, I'm not doing it.
Yes. And then she did bring over some flowers later. Okay. So it was confusing to me because it just
It probably was like, why would you tell me that?
I don't need to know like the details of your life and why I don't care if you do it or don't. I'm not taking inventory of, oh well, you know, these three people brought us food and so didn't. I'm not judging you for not. That's also not my personality. Maybe her experience has been different and she felt the need to. So I'm trying to give her grace, but I think it's like very unusual. And I would like to think that doesn't happen to everyone, but to reach out and say, here, I'm not doing
But it does. I mean, it does.
It's crazy.
People say the dumbest shit.
They do.
And I just want to be like, I'm writing that one down. I'm going to make a book one day. What not to do when your friend has lost a loved one. Please.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know, Devyn, you bring up an interesting point about taking inventory. My mom is probably very upset with me now because I tried to keep up and keep being the good Southern woman I am, keep a notepad of all the things people had done.
Just and had thank you notes.
Yes, and had very good intentions of writing thank you notes. And somewhere I lost track. I wrote a handful, but I have by no means gotten them out. And at this point in time,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I know, but there's a lot. I got a lot of guilt. But you know, I think you're right. Like the person who is grieving is not taking inventory. Don't really expect a thank you note from them because
the person that's grieving can barely get ready in the morning.
Ain't that
the person that's grieving?
I can barely get out of bed
because their stomach is just so upset because they're just their whole body is off. All they need is somebody just to be with them. to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I had a friend take me out one night, and we probably, you know, had too much wine. That extra glass probably sent us over the edge. It was the first time I had laughed. You know, it's just being present. And my friend that brought me the banana bread, she said, one day you're going to get in the car and a song is going to be on the radio. And you are going to turn it up and you're just going to start singing. And then it's going to dawn on you. I'm getting happy again. And I didn't know if I wanted that to happen because I felt like getting okay meant that I was losing track of my dad. When really, no, my dad this is the happiness that's in me. What's going on in me is from him.
Yes.
I need to, you know, and that when that day happened, it was no surprise, a Grateful Dead song on the back roads of Walthall County. But it did happen, and I was thankful for it because I had felt so bad for so long. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There really is.
It's not a train.
It's a slow walk.
Yeah. So talking about laughing, we laugh a lot. Do you remember, and I try to think now because I'm still waiting for those happy moments. And I think too, where I am now is I struggle a little bit that, well, if I'm not sad, have I forgotten her?
That's a normal feeling.
You know? And so, but I think this process, meaning creating this and thinking about this and continuing her story, has been helpful to me in ways. Talk about the role that you think laughter has played in our friendship overall and like some of our goofy ass shit. Like, I mean, yesterday included.
We can talk about that.
I don't think I'm allowed to say those things.
We can't.
All I can say is delete our text threads. If I go out, yeah.
Well, you know, my mama always taught me that laughing releases chemical endorphins into your body that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And we can all, like meeting me, I say some dumb shit sometimes. It's all meant in good fun, but I just love life. So laughing is part of the healing process.
Yeah.
I've even heard you tell stories about your mom lately where you've laughed. And I haven't seen that in a while. I now can look back at my dad and just hysterically laugh.
What story did I tell you that made you laugh? I'm trying to remember.
It was something the other day about your mom, and she was talking about something at your house, and you just kind of chuckled, and I just remember thinking like she's having a sweet memory, like everything's not. I'll have to think.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared to talk about it this minute.
No, that's fine. I just was trying to remember because I still some days have what I call my grief brain. And so, and my colleagues that I work with, they're so kind because I will be practicing law. I'll be, you know, full force, you know, attorney Ryan. And all of a sudden my brain will just glitch. And I'm like, hang on guys, I'm having grief brain. Stand by. And I stop and it'll come back to me, but I find that like,
which I still have that though 5 years later.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm telling you, and that's that's just being honest. Like, it just changes you. You have to learn to adjust. And it's not all bad changes. I mean, of course, their absence is a horrible thing to get used to. And depending on what you believe, like spiritually, I mean, I'm a Christian, but I'm an Episcopal. I'm very much of a hippie Jesus, sort of liberal thinking Christian. You know, I get that we are taught that our loved ones are going to, but I'm still pretty jaded the fact that they left me.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had to come to grips with that. Like, God, there's a lot of people you could have taken besides him.
Yeah.
And I have to make sense of that. So even my faith has kind of changed, like being able to talk to my priest and kind of navigate that too.
That's helpful. So how have you, because you mentioned that your husband Devyn lost his dad around the same time I lost my mom. What are some similarities have you seen between like the male, because he lost his father, so his male figure, and I lost my maternal person. What are some similarities and differences that you have seen between Blake and I and how we each approach things? Because Blake and I think Blake and I are very similar in temperament and stuff. And so it has to be curious from your perspective.
One similarity that I've noticed is almost like a brain fog, kind of a different, you're talking about two, in my opinion, very brilliant people, very successful people, truly in a fog. It's like watching them be in a fog and trying to find like, hey, I don't know where my front door is. I don't know. Or like, I forgot what I was doing. It's
scary to watch.
Yes,
I know.
It is kind of scary. Not to be dramatic, but just like, don't make a stupid mistake because you're in a brain fog. You know, or
I know,
like some
but you
crazy
have to
decision. Or
Yeah,
like,
My husband felt like
like,
he lost me
yeah,
for about 6 months.
Yes,
Well,
I do feel that way.
He feels like I was gone.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think you're talking about learning through that, Rachel. I've had to figure out, because I say, like, I feel like a shattered disco ball, and part of that shatteredness is, I am smart. I am really good at practicing law. I'm really good at being an attorney. I can recall things from years ago, details in contracts that we wrote. And now I have to be, for a while, I really struggled with, oh my gosh, has my superpower been taken away from me?
It's like a spark.
Am I less than? Did she take that too? When pre-grief lawyer Barbie left the room, did she take my intelligence too? Because it's been a challenge, but I think that's where the growth comes for me, is saying, okay, so this is where I am. Owning it, not being ashamed by it. I joke around about it with my colleagues. I joke around about it with my friends. Thankfully, I work with amazing people in a good company who know that I'm not all of a sudden stupid. But to give me that grace, but then to also help me give myself that grace to say, okay, so I've noticed, and this is just for me, grief brain shows up more often when I've had shitty sleep. So I have to get to bed on time. So I'm very, very even more tuned into my sleep. Grief brain shows up more if I'm eating a lot of sugar. So I got to cut out the sugar. Right. And so I've learned in that process of giving myself grace what I need. And it doesn't look like me going to a boot camp. It looks like me just taking a walk.
I
being in the
exercise
sunshine.
for me.
Yeah.
Like running, walking, like exercise for me is really important. Green space is very important. So sunshine, fresh air, being out in nature, being in my studio.
Yeah.
You have to find what works.
Yeah. So I struggled with this. For the person who's listening who is in a grief space and they have friends who want to help them, but they don't know how to ask for help. They don't want to ask for help. Party of one checking in. How did y'all navigate me not wanting help? Because, I mean...
I did it anyway.
Yeah. I was literally about to say it.
I didn't listen to you.
So you're saying, like, ignore that bitch.
Well, not ignore you, but I mean, I'm gonna fucking help, dude.
Yeah.
Whether you want me to or not, like, I'm showing up.
And it's not in the way of disrespect. It's it's in the
they don't know what they don't
love.
know. Yeah.
It's truly.
And I'm sure every time Devyn brought the book or I called or whatever it was, you walked away from that going,
So
okay, that is
thankful.
kind of what I needed.
It was.
Yeah, like, that is kind of what I needed.
It was. I remember, Devyn dropped a book off about it. It's Dr. Marie Claire Haver's new book, The New Menopause. And she's like, look, this isn't real feely, but we're getting there. We need to read about it. And it was just what I needed to read at the time. Something that helped me learn something, that tapped into that intellect, that got me out of my feelings. And you're right. It was exactly what I needed. I'd heard about that book. I'd probably read it eventually, but she just left it on my front door.
I'll be honest, I kind of came up with a few things that were helpful for me because I found that people were scared of me, that they would talk to Seth, my husband.
Yep.
Interesting.
They were scared to talk to me. I'm going to make her cry. She's going to cry. It makes me uncomfortable when she cries. I don't want to know. But they would ask Seth. And so it became like, is Rachel okay? And Seth would be like, do you think she's okay? And they would say, no, what can I do? And Seth could help.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So if you have a good partner.
Take her out. Like,
Yes.
go do this. Or maybe, like, come watch the kids so I can take her to the movie. Like, he would be really open.
Almost like your advocate and your grief buffer in a way.
But in a way, it upset me because I wish they would just come to me. But we had to make it work because people I think they're just scared. They're just scared of feeling uncomfortable.
I remember, so shortly after my mom died, we had the holiday lunch party, and I was like, do I go? Do I not go? Oh, I don't want people giving me sad eyes. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to make people uncomfortable because it was a holiday party. And so I wore a sweater purposefully that said, an ugly Christmas sweater that said, ho, 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 pour the Merlot, because I wanted to give them permission to be light with me. So that idea of, I don't want people to be weird around me is a very real thing. But what would you tell people?
But you've changed. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You've changed. And there's so much about it that I had a friend, a really good friend, say they didn't recognize me. And I didn't recognize me either.
Oh, I found that to be true.
And I'm trying to justify like my behavior when in all reality, I just want you to shut up and hug me. You know, like quit saying I'm different. Like just hug me.
I think that's the takeaway. Just shut up and give me a hug.
Give me a hug.
Yeah, or drop off a book or a bottle of wine, or we have a good friend in the neighborhood who randomly I'll walk outside and there's flowers on my front porch. Just
it
so
helps.
kind. Yeah, just the small things. So how, for both of y'all, Devyn, how do you think our friendship has evolved since my mom has passed?
I think, like I mentioned before, sort of an unspoken level of intimacy. Like, I mean, we've been through, I don't want to call this a trauma bond because usually, that's different, but we're going through this separately, but together.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be there for you. I am your friend. I'm your,
You even
and
agree
if
to
I
do a
wanna
crazy
continue-
ass podcast.
Yes, yeah.
And we're being on our good behavior.
Y'all are being on your good behavior. What about you, Rachel? How do you think our friendship has evolved? Because we've known each other almost 20
Long
years
time.
now.
I don't know if I look at it as like evolution in some sorts, but I do, I love you a lot more.
Oh.
Like, it's like a different sort of thing. And so now, like, you understand what I went through. And there's like this unspoken, like, I get you now. We get each other even more, like more of on a soul level now.
I agree.
Like, you're like kind of stuck with me for a really long time.
Oh, same.
It's like a new thread's been.
Yeah, it's like a new
been
friendship.
yeah.
Like we had the basis and the foundation for something so
We
positive
were
and
moms
wonderful.
all together.
And everything. And see, her mama's Sharon and my mama's Sharon. Like we had all this, like, and I don't know if it's changed. I just think we've gotten closer. I understand you more. You understand me more.
Yeah, I think while there was a falling away, there was like a knitting that happened. I love that idea of like the thread, that there's a new patchwork to our quilt, and our quilt's a little stronger and better.
And it's not saying that the people that have fallen to the wayside will always be there.
Yeah.
Will not all, will always stay away. But right now, the chapter that's evolving doesn't include them.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that too.
Yeah. Well, I heard one time Michelle Obama said, when she and Barack were going up the mountain and he was, getting more accolades and was on the path to become the president and everything, she said, we had to radically accept that not some people were meant to go to the top of the mountain with us. And she said that doesn't make them bad people, but she said, I call it my kitchen table, and those are the people who we do life with. And she said, just, as we all go through these journeys, and I was thinking, to climb and hike a mountain is hard work. You don't just decide you're going to go hike a mountain. And it's true, some people aren't made to go to the top with you. They're not made, and, so they get left at this post or this post or this post. And you're thankful that they went with you for those parts of the journey, but it's okay that they didn't. And, I'm sure people could say that about me. There's parts of their journey I haven't continued up their mountain with them. And
you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's a blessing.
No, I'm champagne. It's true. So if my mom could come here and show up and say something about us sitting around this table, us doing a podcast, what do you think Miss Sharon would say?
She'd be like, Ryan, y'all better act right. Don't get on there and embarrass us now. Y'all better act right.
Act like you got some raisin about you.
Act like you got some sense, Ryan.
Right. You better come correct.
Now, if she was sitting in there, she would be making... Now, y'all shouldn't have said that. You should have added this in. Like, she would have had commentary.
I see her as, like, giving facial expressions, like...
Yeah, like directing from the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then after it's all over, she would be the first one calling all the people, not telling you,
right.
Oh my gosh, my daughter did a podcast.
Yeah.
Like it would be, she'd be excited.
Yeah, I think she would be. I know she's so happy that y'all are here for me. I do know that. Okay, so before we go, we end every episode similar to one of my favorite shows, Inside the Actor's Studio with James Lipton. He asks 10 questions, I ask 5. I call them the Fabulous 5. And so we'll just go back and forth. So, and you can make this funny. You can make this irreverent. You can be serious about it. It doesn't matter. Just whatever. So, Rachel, I'll start with you. What is a life lesson that your mom or your grandmother or somebody wise said to you that you carry with you?
It was my grandma Hazel, who was my mom's mom, and then the namesake for my daughter Hazel. She was a fierce woman. I need to set this up for you a little bit. She worked on World War II fighter planes. She was like, she was
tough.
Boss. They had a farm. She raised all these kids. Like and she used to look at me and she would say, "You're as good as the best. You're better than most. And you sure as hell ain't scared of anybody."
That's true.
And that's how I've kind of lived my life.
You do.
That if things are like, feel uncomfortable, sometimes I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Change requires being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So she always pushed me just to not live in a box, to be myself, to be authentic.
Yeah. I love that. What about you, Devyn?
I think one lesson that I was taught is that at a young age, is that my reality is mine, but it's not it's not everyone else's.
That's
and
so good.
there's something about being mindful, not just about what I'm going through, but others too, and understanding that we're separate and your experience is not, your feelings are real and they're your reality.
They're valid.
They're not my reality.
And there's a Venn diagram and everybody's looking through their own set of lenses.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I find that even now I have to sort of take myself apart, that I have my grief about my mom and that's so very real, but my dad's grief is completely separate and different and in ways I can't ever understand.
And all of it needs grace.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
All of it. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow.
Yeah. So in dark moments and when life has gotten really loud, Devyn, what do you do besides screaming in the car and taking espresso shots?
I like to meditate.
Yeah,
I like to get
good.
quiet. And I think that for me, I can do it anywhere. I think a lot of people have this vision like, oh, I've got to go sit in a dark room. I got to cross my legs. I got to burn the incense. I got to do whatever. I think it can happen anywhere. I try to get quiet and just listen and let my brain rest. It needs rest.
That's an amazing skill. So for anybody who is new to meditation, how do you have any recommendations of apps or anything like that you would recommend?
No, I one thing that I was taught when I first started trying to calm my brain down was someone told me to light a birthday candle, just light it and just try to stare at it until it goes out. And
wow.
I could not
I've
just
never heard
notice
that.
the thoughts, just notice, and when
I use a mala.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Rachel? What do you do?
Well, I paint.
Yeah.
I get creative. That's what I do, and I can get creative in the yard. But I'll be honest, like one of my favorite things to do is being with my friends and acting so stupid and laughing. And people are like, "How old are y'all?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I might be close to getting 50,
right?
But age is just a number." So I love like being with people that just are joyful, like just whatever it is.
Yeah.
But most for me, it's going outside of my studio.
I remember one time last year, I had gone through a big life event prior to my mom passing, and you called me and you said, "Just come down to Key West."
I did.
And
come down to Key West. I was down there for 2 weeks.
Well, and I never do anything spontaneous, shocker. And I said,
"Come see me."
I said, "I think I'm gonna do it," and I did. And those 3 days. We laughed so much that my abs hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Everything from like the naked bars. We didn't go in them.
Yes, she did. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't. We tried to get my mom to go in there and she wouldn't.
But we laughed so hard. We did drink, but not a lot. But just being around each other and just talking shit. I mean, truly. And laying out in the sun and...
It's called a change of scenery. It's a change of perspective. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just to put on a different pair of glasses.
And you knew I needed that. And you said, "Come down here, stay a few days with me, and let's get your mind right." And Devyn knows I came back and I was a different person, wasn't I?
Yeah, it was a great trip. It was
just like getting a little bit of me back and just... energized and ready to go, ready to create, ready to, raise some hell. So I think I know the answer to this, Rachel, but what's the most sacred or sentimental thing in your home right now?
And we're not talking people or animals.
No, please don't answer a body part of your husband.
I'm not going to answer a body part of my husband. Oh my gosh.
Seth he's gonna die. Seth is gonna die that I said that. That's why I said it. You're welcome.
I think that is not it. We're not going to talk about that.
It's a different episode.
Different topic.
Right.
I think for me, it is all of my dad's old brushes.
Yeah.
And I use them a lot when I paint. And I use his apron. It keeps me grounded and it keeps me moving forward in my craft and trying new things. Because I always feel like he's with me. Plus, I have probably the biggest collection of his art because I just, Yeah. So that's if after my kids were safe and my animals were safe, if my house was on fire, I would save paintings. Like for real. Like I would go back in and save paintings.
Yeah.
So
makes sense. What about you, Devyn?
It would probably be my journal.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my nightstand and like what do I keep close to me, and that's
I love
my
that.
thoughts.
I love that. So if you could ask God or whatever you call God one question, what would you ask, Devyn? And get and that you would get a good answer to, you think?
So a long time ago, I was in this, I was meditating, and this meditation came to me that I chose my parents. And I really want to ask God, is that something that I just made up in my head, or was that something, like what does God tell me that is of my thought? And what's the difference, essentially? But
that's really good.
But
Because
Like, why
sometimes
it's a theme that keeps coming up for me for some reason, and so I just
like, is that you, God? Almost like
Yes.
I know recently I shared with you, but I think with both of y'all that I was in yoga and I was really struggling with something, and the thought came up, what if you can be thankful for this? And I was like, wait, is that you, God? And because it sounded like, Ryan, what if you could be thankful for this? And I just lost it because I'm not in a place where I want to be thankful for it, truthfully. Really don't.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And they say it all comes out on the mat. So
Yeah.
it's
And
something that's
so
really
it's
staying
like,
with you.
was that God or was that just an ancillary thought? Like what? Because at the moment, it felt very holy. Like a very true, simple, genuine question. Not one of these long questions I would write. Or, you know.
Yeah.
And so it felt very pure.
There's probably something to it.
Yeah. What about you, Rachel?
I've thought about this all morning because it's I would just ask what's next.
What's next?
What's next? People fight over religion. They fight over the Bible. They fight over being right. They fight. They persecute each other. Everybody thinks they know everything, you know. And in my heart, I believe that there's something bigger than me at play. But I'd want to know what's next. I just want to know what is heaven? Like what it's next for me?
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know.
Okay, so the last one, that's pretty spicy.
Was this on our sheet?
No,
It
it's
was
a
not.
surprise
It's the
question.
surprise. What is the phrase or the word that you use when you are just aggravated or joyful? Your favorite swear word, your favorite swear phrase that you're going to drop on a regular
I'll
basis?
get the mic for this one. Fuck it.
I love it.
Did y'all get that? Fuck it.
I thought it would be like a phrase like
No,
one of
fuck
your
it.
kids would say.
Because at the end of the day, fuck it. Like, you need to be
Yeah.
happy. We're
Yeah.
going to be happy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. I said that word. You need to be happy. If
Yeah.
something doesn't feel good, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, just, you find your people, do your thing.
Yeah.
Someone once told me that was the
Sorry, fuck
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. But someone once told me that was the short version of the Serenity Prayer.
It's fuck it.
Oh.
Yep.
You know what?
I heard the
Fuck it.
same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never thought
It's, you
about
got to
that.
accept it.
Yeah.
We're just.
And letting it
F
go at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accept it, let it go at the same time.
So give me an example of
A phrase.
what's your favorite phrase?
I say holy shit a lot. Also, I'm trying to think what else I say. I do say the F word quite a lot. But when I'm really done, it's usually, oh shit, like, or I've messed something up, or I think I say shit a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you
When
know,
I
the
stump my
Grateful Dead.
toe,
I
when
don't know what I say.
The Grateful
Where-
Dead, and
You hear me cuss all the time.
there's a lyric to a song, and it says, "Sometimes the light is all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately, it's occurred to me what a long, strange trip it's been." And we in a long, strange trip, babe.
we are.
At least we're together in the
It's
car
true.
together.
It's true.
It makes it more fun.
I do think what's funny with you, Devyn, and I don't know if this is because you're a little further on the mom game, and so but whenever you do swear, you almost drop your voice to a whisper. And I find that so amusing. Like we're in the
I do not.
library.
I'm like, get this mic.
I do not.
Like we're in the library and you just say it very gentle. Whereas
What
Rachel
do I
and
do, Ryan?
I mean, you roll down the windows and shout it out, and if you had a bullhorn, would be yelling it through that too.
It's funny you say that because someone once told me that I can say some of the meanest things, not intentionally trying to hurt someone,
Right.
but like things
When
that
we're
are
talking
so,
shit.
yes.
Yeah.
But I say it so nice.
That they don't get mad at you.
You're like,
And then they walk away and they're like, wait.
Well,
what?
I've had friends say, you say stuff and get away with stuff, Rachel, that nobody else could.
Yeah.
And I'm
I think
like,
that's
because
a
it's funny.
But I
similarity.
say it out of love. I don't really
Yes.
say much.
That's
out
true.
of-
But in your
fear or
role
hate.
as an HR professional, you have to give hard messages to people
Yes,
sometimes. And
absolutely.
it sucks.
Yes.
And so you have to find a way to professionally do that. You usually can't swear. And you do have to have a very, unlike me, where the attorney is usually the sledgehammer piece. You have to do it very gentle and with feelings. And lawyers sometimes have feelings if you've been listening for a while.
You have feelings.
I do have feelings. Y'all don't spoil.
Artists have lots of feelings.
Y'all don't spoil my street cred. I do have feelings, but but I've seen you do that where you're like, so I need to tell you about this situation. And it's very calm and NPR-ish. So I think you're swearing.
And I'm
I
on the bullhorn.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thank you both for being here. Y'all are amazing.
We love you.
Yeah,
I
thanks
love
for
you.
having us.
Y'all
It's
are
an
the
honor.
best.
It's an honor to be your friend.
It is.
It's
That's
an
how I
honor.
feel too.
It's an honor to be y'all's
And
friend.
it's really
Y'all are
cool
the
to be
best.
included in your projects. So
Yeah. I'm so thankful that y'all went along with this crazy idea.
we love you.
All right. So that's it for today. You can ache for who you were before everything fell apart and still become someone new. Grief and
I
growth
love
sit at the
tea.
table, often passing notes when we're not looking. This tea, this time, mimosas today, this space, it's for you. It's part of your healing and it's part of mine too. You're not broken, you're just brewing. Follow along on Instagram at How Do I Do This Pod and on YouTube at How Do I Do This Pod. DM me on Instagram and tell me what kind of grief you're holding right now. Seriously, I'll read every one and will probably be the person to respond back. Tell me what you have tried that you think might help me. I'm open to trying anything that's not illegal. Your story might find its way into one of our future episodes.